Thank you very much. My name is John Haschak, and I'm a candidate for the 3rd District Supervisor. I'd like to start off by thanking Channel 3 and Andy and Al for their contributions to this community. I'm in this race because I think that this is a time of great transition in this county, in the 3rd District, in our community. And I think I'd like to talk about 3 issues or areas of concern that this campaign has been about. The first one is the economy. This is a time of great transition, of great change, and instead of being like having a woe is us outlook, I think we need to be proactive in turning this economy around. And the first thing I want to do as a supervisor is create career and technical education programs. I've been endorsed by Senator Mike McGuire, and when he was a county supervisor in Sonoma County, he did a program that was that has 98 different programs right now of career and technical education, all the way from viticulture to culinary arts to the building and trades to electric cars to bookkeeping. Those kind of programs we need in our district, especially I go up to places where they need more child care, and so we need programs that can get the licensing for child care or elder care, or with the Measure B in the mental health facility, we're going to need people who are trained to be mental health assistants and all those kind of jobs. We have lots to do. We need to be proactive on it. We also need a living wage for our county employees. Some of these people who are in-home healthcare workers are doing a critical job in our community, working with people who have healthcare needs, and we need to give them a living wage. They're only making $10, $11 an hour. We can do better than that. And the other is to actively pursue grants through the Resource Conservation District and USDA. They have lots of money, federal and state money, that we can go pursue to help stream restoration, to help clear our forests, to abate fire hazards, to do some of these programs that will make our county safer. And so I look forward to pursuing that, because for every dollar that the county spends, the Resource Conservation District brings in $76 to our county. And that's money that will be recycled through our county and boost the economy, make our communities safer, give people employment. We need to be pursuing that kind of activity. And the other one is to the cannabis industry. So my program is to help the small cannabis grower survive, to have a viable livelihood, and to do it with dignity, to be a good neighbor, to be a good steward of our land, and to just be good community members. You know, that's been a big part of our economy, and I've got a 12-point program to look at those issues, to pursue, that will help the small cannabis growers. Other people have proposed programs that would bring in corporations, would produce mass grows in our district, and I don't want that. I don't think most people want that in our district. I want to support the small grower survive in this economic transition, but the large grows we can't have that economically or for our environment or communities. Our environment is changing rapidly, and with global warming and climate instability, that we have unprecedented challenges that are threatening our livelihoods every day. Especially in this fire season, our county needs to be better prepared for this new world where we have these fires that are just devastating communities. We have to work on the emergency access route out of Brook Trails and Sherwood Road. We have to do a second access route, and that's going to be a long-term project. But in the same time, we need to do short-term projects too, which will provide for egress and ingress into those areas. So So we need to be able to get out of, those areas if there's a real catastrophic fire immediately. And so that kind of work I really look forward to doing, because I think that that's one of utmost concern to our communities. The last program I'd like to talk about is how our government is run in the county. And so governance overall, I think that we need a supervisor who's going to be listening to the people, who's going to be taking input, outreaching to different communities. In fact, all the communities that we have in our area. And I've been doing that for the last year, listening to people's concerns, going out, meeting people, finding out what the issues are. And I think that we need to keep that, have an open door policy where people can come to me or talk about whatever issue is on their mind. But I will not just be in the office, I will be out there talking to people. And I think I've shown that every day, working full-time as a teacher, and then going out every afternoon, talking to people, going out every weekend, being at the different events and meetings, and talking to the decision makers, and also talking to people that feel like they're disenfranchised and they don't have a voice in this government that we have. So I look forward to representing the district in that kind of openness, and to create a representative government that is more inclusive and takes in people's concerns. My history is that my mother moved my two brothers and myself up to Willits in 1969. She was a single parent, and she was a school nurse for both Willits and Laytonville. And then once a month she would go up to Covelo. So I have a long history in this district. I moved up here when I was in 5th grade and went to the Bechtel Grove. I went to Willits High School. After that, when I graduated, I went off to college. I graduated from UCLA with a history and political science major. And I went into the Peace Corps to try to help other people, and also to see the part of the world. And I was in Guatemala for 2.5 years. I was working in appropriate technology in a Mayan community, so I learned Spanish. I learned a Mayan language called Cachiquel. And when I came back, I started working with migrant farm workers. I was a parent involvement coordinator for a 7-county area. And in that position, I was able to work with people who were some of the most economically depressed people, but had a real spirit of trying to make things better in their communities, and I really appreciated that. But I was called by Willits High School to teach Spanish at the high school. I've been working for the Willits Unified School District for the last 29 years, and in that I started getting involved in the teachers union. I became the president, and I've been the president of our local association for about the last 17 years. I've raised my 2 kids here in Willits, and that's been a great joy. They're now out of the house. My son is in the Marines, and my daughter is living in Santa Rosa. So my wife, who teaches also, we're empty nesters at this point for the first time. As the president of the teachers union, I've been proud of working for the salary and benefits of our teachers, but also the well-being of our students and communities. Just last November, I got the board to pass a safe school resolution, which ensures that students are safe from immigration raids at the school, and so they don't have to be worried about that. Families won't have to worry that their families will be separated while their kids are trying to get an education. I'm proud of what I did with that. I also got involved at the state level, where I've been the chair of the budget committee for 7 years for the state of California. That's over $200 million budget that I was responsible for, of getting our committee to make the proper decisions which would reflect the goals and aspirations of our members and provide services. And during that time, I've been the chair twice, once for 3 years, and I got termed out after that. And then I came back after having to sit out for a year. Came back and I ran for the budget chair again, and I was elected for a 4-year term. But during the first 3 years, we had an incredible time of transition because we had the Great Recession going on, and the state of California lost thousands and thousands of teaching positions. For the California Teachers Association, we lost 39,000 members during that time, which was it was a huge hit to our budget. But during that time, as the chair, we were able to get the budget committee to look at what our goals were, how to make cuts, which we had to make cuts. We made over 54 cuts to positions, but those were far away from service delivery, meaning that it was in administration, it was far away from where the members would feel it. And so we didn't cut any of the staff that was affecting members directly. And I'm proud of that. When I came back the second time, I pushed through a dues restructuring plan which lowered the dues for teachers in the North Coast from San Francisco up to the Oregon border who were making less than the teachers in the Bay Area or the Southern California. And so what it did was it reduced by about 25% the dues for our young new teachers who aren't making much money. And that was the proper way to do it. We were proceeding to implement that throughout the state until the Supreme Court made this decision last summer. And with the fear of that decision, the board of directors of CTA decided to back off on implementing that program statewide. But I was proud of that program. I still am, and it might be revived someday, because what it did was it gave a kind of a tax break or a dues break to the people who weren't making as much money. That's what I want to see happen in our county too. So I think those things, being responsible for a $200 million budget is huge. One of the issues I have with the current board is that they voted a 40% raise for themselves last December. And I was just at the Board of Supervisors meeting this morning when they were talking about how to increase pay and not being able to fill jobs that are providing services to our residents. And one of the things is that they gave themselves a 40% raise. The people who are doing the services in our county, who are working on the roads, who are doing working with clients in mental health or social services, those people are just getting the same salary that they were 10 years ago. And that is, for me, it's unacceptable. And at the same time, the county was running a deficit spending this past year because they thought that they were going to get a lot more money from cannabis than the fees and everything than they did. And so for the supervisors to be taking that raise is unacceptable. My opponent says he'll take the raise, and I just don't see leadership in that way. I was just heard this morning that someone was saying leaders eat last, and I believe in that, where we need to make sure as a government official or elected official that the people working who are doing the actual jobs need to be taken care of first. We have no time to waste in this district. We've gone with supervisors, not really functioning well. We had the situation for the last 4 or 5 years where the supervisors haven't been at full speed, and we've waited long enough. I don't think this district has any more time to waste with the bypass, with the cannabis industry, with just people in transition in life. We need to be providing good governance at this point in time. And as your supervisor, I will be proactive. No one will outwork me, and I will have passion and energy to create a better future for all of us. I'm very proud of being endorsed by our state senator, Mike McGuire, who's proposing this the Great Redwood Trail, which would convert the railroad tracks from Willits north into a hike-bike trail. And he's done incredible work with our disaster preparedness, alert system preparedness. I've also been endorsed by our Assemblyman Jim Wood, who's also done great work in getting money for our rebuilding after the fires and preparing for our next catastrophic event. I've been endorsed by the whole Brook Trails Board, who they see the need for the second access route and my vision and my hard work. So each one of them has endorsed me. Madge Strong, the mayor of Willits, Ron Orenstein on the city council, they're endorsing. And I've gotten endorsements from throughout the cannabis industry, the environmental people who are working for the environment, forestry people. And so I have a long list. You can go see it at haschakforsupervisor.org, or you can like me on Facebook. It's Haschak for Supervisor. We've got a tough race ahead of us, and I hope that people get involved, because this is the time of change. We need to change the way things have been going in this county, especially in the 3rd District. If you want to be involved, you can go to my website, haschakforsupervisor.org. There's ways to volunteer. We're out there phone banking. We're out there precinct walking. I'm at every event. I hope to see you all. So anyway, I want to leave you with this, that my name is John Haschak. I'm running for 3rd District Supervisor. We don't have time to waste. We need to get to work, and I'm ready to be that person who gets to work for you. Thank you.